My name's Paul Church from Clarity Stamp here in the UK. How are we all doing today? It takes a little while for you to come in and join the Groovi party, so I shall do my usual and just waffle for a little bit. I can see we've got some viewers. Good morning and welcome. Should we have a bit of a weather report today to get things started whilst we're waiting for everyone to pull up a chair and get groovy? So it was -3 driving in this morning, freezing fog, that's sort of like where you can't see where the bend in the road is, but there wasn't any traffic on the road, so it was nice and easy. The only thing I had to be aware of that there wasn't any wildlife on the road. So Stuart is in the room with you today, so thank you, Stuart. Sound is good, so I know people can hear me. Here we all come, everybody's coming in. Good morning to Helen, Karin, Sally, Jackie, Frosty and Bright in Leicester, Icy wherever Jackie is, Sharon's with us, lovely Jane Telford, Nahid's in the room as well. Lovely to have everybody's company on this fresh and frosty morning. Ooh, that was a bit of a fresh and frosty. So yeah, freezing in Harvington. Where's Harvington, Mary? I haven't heard of that. Sounds as if it's sort of Cambridge, Oxford. Probably totally wrong. It's just got that sort of ring to it. Good morning, Lynn, Jackie, Margaret, Deborah. Here we all come. Good morning, lovely Pat. It's lovely to have everybody's company again on another Groovy Tuesday. It's wet in Spain, 57 millimeters expected in the next 24 hours. Ouch. I think I'd rather cold than wet. So yeah, definitely cold than wet. So how's everyone doing? Tuesday again. What have we been doing in between there? I can't remember. About freezing fog, I got brain fog. This should be fun today. Oh yeah, I had TV on Sunday. Door. Yeah, that was good. Good 2 hours with Charlie. Yeah, and we went a bit of a fashion parade, didn't we? So yeah, I enjoyed that. That was good fun. So everyone's cold, everyone's got to wrap up, put a blanket on. Beautiful sun shining cool. Yeah, I mean it's nice and sunny outside. It's just cold. So yeah. So I'm just reading all the comments as they pop up. So that's all that. So yeah. Let's not get rid of. Let's just clear that text message because my thing has a habit of keep bleeping my wrist until I clear the message. So Mo was watching me last night on Catch Up. Oh, beautiful in Cornwall. There we go. So just give it a little while just to have a little chat, have a little catch up whilst everyone finds us and joins the Groovy party. So we've been working with one of Josie's beautiful Duet grids, and this is the one we've been working on, Sending Love Your Way, which is one of the diagonal ribbon plates, and we've been slowly working through it. We're on to week 6 now, and I think it's quite interesting. I was reading some comments the other day, and there was a lady, forgive me, I've forgotten her name. She says she just recently bought this collection of plates, and I'm trying not to say and she found it's on YouTube. So so she was really chuffed about that. It's amazing what you can find on YouTube, especially on the Clarity YouTube page, because there is hours and hours and hours of tutorials, and they're all free. So we've got the lovely Glynis in the room, Josie, seen Jane, any of our lovely Jilly's in there. It's sunny in Edenbridge. Yes, thanks, Jilly. Jilly's sitting in the office next door. She should be working. Why are you not working, Jilly? So yeah. Lorraine Bell has just joined the Groovi Club. It's amazing. The clubs are amazing. They really are. And now would be the perfect opportunity to maybe look into it if you want to find out what they're all about. I'm sure Stuart could pop a link up to the clubs, but if you have any questions, then you can ask away. Or you can always give the office a call and speak to the lovely Janine. She will guide you through the various different clubs. We have one for Groovi, we have one for stamps, and we have one for stencils. And you can join a combination of just a single club, or you can join 2 or 3. It's entirely up to you. But it's like when you sign up, it's like once a month, Christmas comes through the door because you get this fantastic product and a double-sided concertina step-by-step project. And on top of that, you get 10 or 15% off of all online purchases for the year at either, you can place the orders over the phone, you can go online. When we have our open days, you can use your club membership there. When we have our retreats, you can use those as well. So yeah, it's definitely, and it's sometimes you need that little kick, so to speak, a virtual kick, obviously, to maybe kickstart your mojo, or you're unsure, and you may get one of the projects come through and you think, oh, this is good. And then you'll look at your stash that you've already got and think, okay, I can take a design from here, I can take a design from there. And it's all about sort of like the techniques and making it so achievable. So that's definitely worth looking into. I think Stuart may have popped the link up to the clubs if you want any more information. But I know many of our people tuning in today are already members of the club. So, we've got the lovely Jenny from Melbourne again. Good. I'm guessing it's evening or it's late. I'm guessing it's late in Melbourne at the moment. I'm just trying to think. My aunt's there at the moment. Can't think what time, or is it? No, I think it's late at night. I'm guessing it's probably about 10, 11 o'clock at night, possibly. I'm sure Bernie will correct me. So yeah, so the clubs are really, really good, and it's something to look forward to once a month. What else have we got? So we've spoken about club, and on the 20th, it's 9 o'clock in the evening. Thank you, Jenny. That's so it's 11 hours, isn't it? And on the 20th of February, we have our half-price member sale. And the guys are working on that at the moment, getting everything ready. So we do that twice a year, half-price member sale. So if you're looking at sort of getting 10 or 15, oh no, there's no further discount on that, is there? With the club members, it's 50% off, but no further discounts. But then after the member sale, then you get 10 or 15% off any purchases. So, okay, let's have a look. There's a big message there. Christine, hello, Paul from sunny but cold Wrexham. I love the Groovi plates. I've been a traditional parcher for years, but Groovi is a much simpler way of parching. And needless to say, I have rather a lot of Groovi plates and joined the Groovi Club last year, and I'm loving the PTC swaps. Of course, yes, Josie. I think Josie still organises the PTC swaps. I'm sure she'll correct me on that. So yeah, and Jane, just remember, we get the newsletter as well from Barb. So yeah, talking of which, many of you may be aware that Barb's unwell at the moment, currently in hospital, and she's trying to keep her spirits up, and she really appreciates all the artwork and all the love that's being spread on Groovi Worldwide, Clarity Worldwide, and on the blogs as well. I had a chat with her this morning. She was awake, and she did a blog which has already been posted. So if you want an update on how things are going, then check out Barbara's blog, which is barbaragrayblog.com. And yeah, we all wish her Lots of love, lots of virtual and gentle hugs for a speedy recovery. Lorraine Bell, I'm not sure what I'm on Facebook or YouTube. Well, according to the little icon, you're watching via Facebook, if that's what you mean. So, welcome. Have we got any newbies in the room today? Last week we had a couple of newbies, or some people that had found us recently and have been coming back following Groovi Tuesday, which is great. So, yeah. It's always, Pat Hoskins, it's always a joy to open the Clarity Club surprise and read the news. It is indeed. As I say, it's like Christmas once a month, isn't it? Or a birthday once a month, whichever way you want to look at it. So yeah. Dawn, please give Barb my love when you next speak to her. I will indeed. She's getting all the messages, but she just obviously isn't up to sort of obviously responding to each and every one of you. So, but she is reading them. I know that. And Grace and Dave and everyone else. So we're all sending lots of love and hugs, aren't we? So should we get going? Should we do it? Since we're here, we might as well do some Groovi, hence it being Groovi Tuesday. So let's have a bit of a recap on what we've been doing the past few weeks. So this is the plate we've been looking at, and as I said before, it's one of the designs from Josie Davidson, and it's a duet plate. And what we mean by that is this top half here. You can see it's a brighter white. Pat Hoskins, could you please repeat Barbara's blog link? Yep, I'm sure Stuart could put a link up to that, but you can also find it from the Clarity website as well. If you go to claritycrafts.com, there will be on the front page, there's a link that will take you direct to Barbara's blog as well. And you can sort of save that to your favorites if you wish to. So yeah, going back to the plate, you can see the brighter white areas. So this is sort of like what we call the traditional Groovi element of it. And this is all embossed, loads of little dots. There we go. Stuart's popped the link up for those of you watching on Facebook. So is this on Facebook page as well? It is indeed, Joy. It's on the Clarity Stamps Facebook or Clarity Crafts Facebook page. You can watch as well. Sorry, I'm distracted by all these lovely messages of love. And then the bottom half, you can see it looks as if it's sort of sitting in the distance, but it isn't. This section here has been precision drilled. And the way in which it works is that you do your embossing, create your frame or your border, and then you combine it with the perforating part and make beautiful lacework. So when I show you these little boards that Josie has created, I mean, look, and don't look at that and think, oh, I can't do that. You can, but you can do it at whatever level you wish to. If you're not at your picot cutting stage yet, you don't have to picot cut out the areas. Let me just sort of bring this corner up here. It's easier if I bring it up to the camera, or maybe it's better if I come in on this one. Ooh, that's really big. So, I mean, if you look at this area down here, yeah, there's a little bit of perforating to reveal the ribbon, but it works beautifully without any picot cutting as well. See, and that's one of the great things about these plates that Josie's come up with, is that you can emboss a pattern and have a beautiful frame. You can perforate a pattern and have a beautiful frame. Combine both together, so you've got 3 different looks at that point. But then if you want to do your picot cutting, you can. So that one there is the oops, back on the overhead, the thinking of you, because there's 4 of the diagonal ribbon grids. Then this one is sending love your way, which is the one we're currently working on at the moment. And you'll notice that it's gone from a square to a rectangle. You see, and that's the beauty of the plates, is that you can do a border, you can do a frame, you can do it square, you can do it rectangle. And over the past couple of weeks, we've been looking at just taking the plate exactly how it comes. So it just gives you those choices. But if you're new to it, then just get do what we're doing on Groovy Tuesday and just take the plate exactly how it comes. Then we've got the one that's called Season's Greetings. I love this. I love the spiky elements of this one. And yeah, so there we go. That was good timing. Judith is using the Season's Greetings. So that was good timing, wasn't it, Judith? You read my mind. And then finally, in the diagonal one, we have the Hope You Feel Better Soon. Perfect for wishing Barbara a speedy recovery. So they're the 4 different options. And then when you get the plate, what Josie does is she gives us an actual size finished photo of what it can look like without the ribbon or with the ribbon. And you can replace the ribbon if you want to with paper strips. So again, it's all about the choices. And then on the back, Josie holds your hand virtually, guides you through step by step, and then gives us our cutting guide. So what we need for today's session, because we're sort of really moving along quite nicely on this, is we need our piece of artwork that we've got. So here you can see if I pop that on there, we took the design, turned it around, and just made the frame exactly how it comes on the plate. Okay, we've done all of our perforating, and last week we just made a start on the pico cutting. I wonder if I come in on this one. Let's have a look. If I hold, let me get that in the right. So you can see now, there we go. There we go. See, but for me, just the embossed with the perforations is a beautiful look anyway. So don't be put off by the pico cutting, thinking, oh, I can't do that. In a way, I know it sounds really sort of weird, but you can. This is a good practice. I mean, if you're new to pico cutting, I wouldn't practice on the frame that you've created. Maybe just take an element onto a scrap piece of parchment and practice on that if you want to give pico cutting a go. So we're going to need our piece of artwork. We're also going to use our pico scissors. Now we've got 3 different options. So we've got Barb's favourites, which are the exclusive scissors. We've got the perk cutters, or squizzers, as I like to call them, and then the ring lock. I can use all 3 of them, depending on how much time I'm going to be spending doing my pico cutting. The most comfortable for me are the ring lock. If I was going to do this whole frame in one go, then I would use the perk cutters, because it's just, for me, it's just easier on the hand. I've still got ink on my finger from the weekend, because it's just a case of just squeezing. Okay, but for Groovy Tuesday, I'm going to go with the ring lock. So if you just search for scissors on the website, you'll see the different options available to you. So we need this, and I need these. Definitely need these for today. Bit of a tired eye. And I'm working on the 12 by 12 black super foam. So I used this when we was doing the perforating, but because it's a nice large area, it gives me somewhere to rest my arm when I'm perforating as well. And I think that's all we're going to need for today. Obviously, I'm going to need your company and your questions. And I've got my coffee, which is nearly gone, but that'll be fine. There's plenty of time for more coffee. And that's all we're going to need for today. We're going to see how far we get with the pico cutting. We're just going to see how far we go, and then we can pick up next week, can't we? So, I mean, what have we got this week? It's Tuesday. Yeah, it's Tuesday. Of course it's Tuesday. Oh, dear me. I'm going to start pico cutting. I'm going to stop waffling. Are we all ready to get going? I'm sure you are. Who's doing it at the same time? Who's finished their piece? Who's just watching? I know. It's a good distraction. Just for an hour, once a week, just distract from what's going on. And as I've said to you in the past, for me, this 1 hour, see, my voice is calming down already. I'm not so hyper now. And there's nothing to do with the coffee. I'm just thinking. But do I want to think? I don't really. I just want to get snipping. So Karen's watching. So Alison's asked, do you hold the scissors vertical to the parchment or at a slant? Okay, good question, Alison. So what we'll do when I start using them, I'll show you exactly how I hold them. Jane's getting inky. So Joy says, thank you so much, Paul, for Groovy Tuesdays. I've watched the beginners ones. I've learned so much. I was a traditional parcher, but when I learned about groove plates, it was love at first sight. It really is a game changer. Okay, I'm going to stop waffling. I'm going to put my glasses on. Ooh, okay, maybe I better give them a wipe first. That will definitely help. The whole point of having glasses is so you can see what you're doing. So I give them a wipe first. New prescription. I'm not sure whether they're any better than the last ones. Maybe just my eyes are getting worse. I don't know. It took me long enough to get the new prescription done. Right. Okay. Ah, oh, much better. Okay. So we're going to come in. I'm going to zoom in now. So just bear with me while I do my stretching exercises. Okay. Ooh, stand. And what way am I going in? I need to come in this way. I'll come in slowly. There we go. It's all right, Deborah. We won't tell anyone that you're watching while meant to be working. Oh, dear. Okay, Bernie's question. If you do the embossing first, can you then use a diagonal A4 grid to do the pricking? Do you mean if you're using the Duet plate, or whether you're just using a design in general? I'm not sure what you mean. I'm sure Susan says, Pico looks like mice has nibbled on mine. So did mine. Okay, so on the Duet plate. So, okay, so just to recap then for Bernie. Where's my plate? I'll put it over here. Because you've got the two different elements, you've got the embossed part. I personally prefer to do the embossed part first, but then the bottom half already has the drilled holes. So you don't need to use the A4 plate because these have already got the holes in them so that they work perfectly with the embossed pattern. Okay. So Kathy's in the States and picked up my phone, and there you are. Never knew or seen you before. Oh, hope that's is that a good thing or okay. Right. So scissors. Woo. Oh, that's really close. Stay my fingers. Okay. There's different ways of holding and positioning your scissors. With the curve going up, we call this the spoon position. With the curve going down, we call this the fork position. Now, if I come over on this, oh, wrong camera. Okay, So if I come over on this camera here, so traditionally, parters were taught to put the 2 fingers through the tops of the scissors with the curve going down. And then what you would do, you would go put the tips in to your parchment, and then you would bring the scissors so it was sort of laying flat towards your parchment. Okay, and then you snip. So you will go in, you bring it down, and what that does is it slightly lifts the parchment whilst you snip. Okay, now for me personally, I prefer to hold it in the spoon position, and I prefer to come in from underneath with my finger and thumb, my grubby. They're not really grubby, they're just dry. That camera is not very good, is it? I should have put some hand cream on. So I tend to come in from underneath, like so, and then I use these fingers to balance. And then when I go in, I bring it down, but because they're on a curve, then it automatically sort of slightly lifts the parchment. Okay. So when we come in here, the waist area, I'm going in with the tips of the scissors. It's coming in on the overhead. Overhead. So the bit that's going to fall out is going to be these bits in the middle, just like it was up there. Let me just check that with Josie's cutting guide. So let's bring that in there. So this row is the row we've already picot cut. So now we're going to move into these. We're going to do these little flowers first. They look like little flowers or little stars, don't they? Okay. Now what I tend to do, I'm just going to move the mat towards me so I can rest. Have a look here. You'll notice you can't really see. What I'm doing, my wrist is resting on the mat. Okay. So I'm going to bring it back, and we're going to go back on the overhead. And we're going to do the next row. So some people prefer to hold in their hand. Now, when I was learning with the exclusive scissors, and I was learning the traditional style with the point going down, but I used to hold the parchment in my hand. Okay. And then what that did, it gave me a reference on how far the scissors were going in. Because if you go in too far with the tips of your scissors, all it's going to do, the blades on the scissors are just going to cut the parchment, okay, which is what you don't want. So that's how I learned. And when I say it took me 6 months, I mean, I wasn't doing it hours a day. It was probably a couple of hours each month in total. And it was just that, I suppose it's one of those things. Some people can get it straight away. Some people have to try different methods and what works for them. But the best way that I learn, because when you're doing picot cutting, you want to get that beautiful sort of like pointed triangle, don't you? And so the way that I would start off, I'd have a straight line on a piece of parchment and then a row of perforations. And I'd work my way along, and I'd look at it and think, yeah, the mice have definitely got hold of this. And because a straight line is very harsh on the eye, you'll notice every single imperfection. Okay. Imperfection, when I say probably when I look back at it now, it was probably okay, but I've definitely improved. Okay. But the way that I improved my picot cutting was to do little crosses. Okay. Because it was more forgiving on the eye. And what I mean by doing little crosses, let me just show you. If I grab, what have I got to hand? It's a really good question, but let me have a look, see if I've got anything here that I can use. Yeah, I think I have. Where's my... I'll take my 4-needle bold tool, because what you want is... Let me just grab it out of my bag. It should be in here, because I put everything back where it came from, he says. Okay. Right. Okay, so you can use the basic grid. Okay, you want the straight basic grid to be able to do this. I haven't brought my folders and I haven't unpacked yet. So let me take my Groovi card. And what you need is a series of 4 perforations. Okay, so let's just do a couple of them just to show you. Okay, so I'm using my 4-needle bold. There's a 4-needle fine, but if you're new, then the bold is definitely... I need my glasses. I'm thinking, why does that not look like 4 holes? That's better. Okay. Now on this one, I went in too far, and what it did, because I went in too far, it's broken. Okay. So then what we're going to do, we can use this as a warm-up exercise actually. In order to create the little crosses, the bit in the middle, that tiny little bit in the middle, is the part that's going to fall away. Okay. So if I take my ring lock, and what I'm going to do, I'm turning my work, I'm holding my hand here so it's comfortable, and I'm just putting the very tip of the scissors in, and then I'm going to squeeze together to create the picot. Now, some people will lean towards them, some people will lean away from themselves, some people don't lean at all. Okay, so because this is a little square, I'm not going to do any leaning. Now we're going to drop down to this one. That was a bit dodge. And then, but for me, this was how I learned. Okay, my scissors are staying in the same position, and I'm turning my work. Okay, so the tips of the scissors in there, give it a little squeeze, and move over to the next section. And you get more of a sense of achievement when you create these little squares. I wonder, I'm going to come in really close on this. I'll try for it not to go. Is this helpful? Or am I just preaching to the converted, so to speak? I've just got static from the camera. In. Okay, just bear with. I'm going to come in slow. Now this is really close. Really, oh no, too close. I think that's probably as close as I can get on the overhead camera. Okay, chair in. Now, where was I? Okay, so now it's really, I wonder, let me go to this camera for a minute, and I'm going to put the scissors there. I'm just going to walk around behind the desk, and I'm going to bring this one in closer as well. Okay, let me just walk around. I can't reach this one over the desk, so we'll bring this one in as well. Ooh, a bit too far. There we go. I think that should be okay. But as I say, for me, this is how I perfected my picot cutting. Okay. What works for me may not necessarily work for everybody. So we're just going to go in there, and you could use this finger here if you want, just to balance. And then we're going to snip, snip, snip. They're already done. That one's done, and that one's done. Okay, so we've now done 3 sides of our little squares. Okay, Judith, my nose is about half an inch from the screen and I'm getting a much better idea of how this goes. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to keep the scissors in my hand now. I need to just lift my hand a little bit, but I'm just trying to keep it. Oh, I moved it. Okay. And then we're going to do the final snip, like so. And it's that sound. Let me bring I'm going to lean right over and see if the microphone can pick up that snip. Did you hear that? That is so satisfying. I forgot where I've been now. I think that's all of them. So now, when we lift that up, we have the little bits of waste are underneath. We can see that. If I tilt this up now, hang on. We have crosses. Okay. Now, when you're doing this, I mean, yeah, it's hard to describe because for me, that's how it made a difference to me with the learning. And as I say, often when I was first learning, I would have a straight line and I'd have a row of perforations along here. And if one of them was off, it just didn't look right. And then you lose your confidence. But look how close that camera is, right? Without my glasses, I mean, my eye's fairly good without my glasses, but it still looks good. Even if it looked a little bit rough, don't beat yourself up over it because it's the overall effect that we're looking for. Okay. And often we're our own worst critics that we look at it, oh, I can't be doing it. And I remember hearing a story many, many years ago when there used to be the Pokemon exams. And if one Pico cut point was slightly off, it was a foul. Why? Surely it's the overall effect that you're looking for. But that's the way it was back then. But I'm not here to judge. So, Glynis, oops, my thumb caught the angry button. I'm not angry, honest. I can't imagine you being angry, Glynis. I really can't. I'm sure people disagree on that. Okay, so I think Jane mentioned it as well. It's also a good idea to warm up. Don't go in cold when you come to do your picot cutting. Maybe do some little squares, just like I've done, just to get your hand in. So what we're going to do now is we're going to carry on and we're going to do this. And for me personally, I find it easier to go, I just need to turn it so it's my angle is correct, is to do all of these in the same direction first, then turn my work, just like I did with the crosses, rather than do each of them individually. But again, some people, okay, I'm going to throw it out there to the design team. Oh, that was rubbish. The design team. Would you do each of these sections individually, or would you do as I'm doing and do all of the ones in the same direction first? So I need an individual or together from the design team. Okay, so we've done that. So I've done that. Let's go over and I do those two over there, like so. Okay. Then I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to start here. Just make sure I'm on the overhead. So Jane's all in the same direction. I do all of the ones together. So all in the same direction, Josie. Is that what you mean? It's always one to change the terminology. I need to give a big shout out to the design team, especially Jane, Josie, and Glynis. Next week, I've got a one-day special, beautiful, groovy one-day special, and the lovely ladies have prepared it all for me so I can concentrate on things here. Without their help, I don't know what I'd do. So it really is appreciated. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to go around this way now. So then we're going to bring the part. So you'll notice my scissors are not moving. It's the parchment that's moving. Okay. So keep my scissors there. It's as if my scissors are on like a stand, which is my hand. My hand is a stand. And it's the work that I'm moving. Okay. And also it's good for me to show as well because I'm in the right place for the camera. Hopefully, if I've got my head down, I'll have a look in a minute, make sure that, yeah, there we go. Okay, so I'm gonna have to lift my hand up now because I'm gonna come round on this side. So I'm gonna have my hand under my work to do this row. Make sure it comes down a little bit. Okay. So then, oh, forgot that one. So at the moment, it looks as if I've just ripped the parchment, but it's when you do that final snip, so that it gives it the reveal. So we're going to come along. So what else have we got going on at Clarity Towers? So let me see. I'm going to try and read my list. Thursday, the lovely Tina Cox will be back on your screens on Create and Craft doing the Pergamano show. And let's just say Tina will be away with the fairies a little more than she normally is. Okay. I'm just going to turn this around now. Hang on, get my eye back in, get the angle right. Just, whoops, off camera. There we go. So Tina is on Create and Craft Thursday, Pergamano show at 11 o'clock and 3 o'clock. So I've seen the projects she's created. They are absolutely amazing. She's got fairies and filigrees and swirls. Beautiful designs. Many of you may already have them. And Tina is going to put her twist on them. So that's on Thursday. So we get Stuart's pop the link up. I'm sure I'll pop it up again. If you check out Barb's blog, both Barb, Grace, myself will keep you up to date with all things Clarity and all things Barb as well. So that's a good, ooh, sorry. Hang on. Where am I going? There, that one. Down a bit. Oh, I had it a minute ago. It's because I'm trying to multitask. Then on Sundays, we have the lovely Clarity Matters blog. So on Sundays, we've got the step-by-step, and on Saturday, we do the Saturday share. And Jane and Josie have been helping Gracie out on that one. So that's always a good place to go for some inspiration. There we go. So Stuart's just popping the link up to Barb's blog, and I'm sure he'll follow that with the Clarity Matters blog. Today, we've launched a new Design of the Week where you get 30% off plus club discounts if you're in the clubs. Okay, and I believe we're getting funky this week with the funky foliage and funky foliage and leaves designs, and they're available in stamps, stencils, dies, and Groovi. This one's just being held in somewhere. There it is. Hang on. There we go. So now let's come along. So now you can see. Let's pop it on there and move the mat. So we've done that row. Okay. And now we're going to do the row underneath. So it doesn't take, and it isn't a rush. You enjoy it. So yeah, so we've got the design of the week that launched this morning with the funky foliage and the funky leaves. And if you've signed up to receive our emails, then last night and also on Barbara's blog yesterday, because everybody's been so kind and generous, sharing the love and best wishes over the past few weeks to Barbara and the family, Barbara thought it would be a good idea to share the love back. So if you place any orders between now, I mean, it kicked in yesterday at 4:30, between 4:30 yesterday and midnight on Monday, all orders will be placed in a prize draw, and the winner will receive a Clarity voucher for the value of their order placed during that period. So if you place one order, you get one chance. If you place two orders, you get two chances. As they say, you've got to be in it to win it. And I'll be doing the draw live on Groovi Tuesday next week. So, yeah. So if you want to take advantage of that and be in with a chance of winning back your order, the value of your order, then give it a go. So I'm just going to bring that around now. Where am I? I'm on this side, so I need to go. Oh, hang on. Oh dear, oh dear. Concentrate, Paul. Stop trying to do two things at once. Okay. So if you haven't signed up to our emails, then Stuart can pop a link up for you to sign up. And then we'll keep you informed of all things Clarity, everything that's going on, upcoming TV shows, special offers, events, etc., etc. Okay. So, just come off the edge of my mat. So, yeah, so there's lots going on to keep you entertained. Okay, where am I going now? Oh, so it's because I keep moving my hand. Stop moving your hand, Paul. You just said you don't move your hand. And it's because I'm trying to, because I brought the camera in so close. It's just trying to keep, and the work is now under my hand. Oh, I know, I'm just all gobbledygook today. So we've almost done this, right? I reckon. Yeah, I reckon we'll get this side done completely. Because once you get into it, and I keep my hand in the right place. So I'm just going to lift my hand up now. I'm going to turn. What way am I turning? I need to do that bit. Yeah. And then you're going to move along. And we've nearly done all of the sides. Now, I don't know if you know, I struggled there. I don't know if you caught that. And the reason I struggled is because I'd gone in too far with the scissors, and what I was actually doing was snipping the black foam at the same time. So if you find that when you come to snip that you're not getting a good movement on your scissors, it's possible that you're going in too far and you're actually trying to snip the parchment as well as the black foam underneath. Okay, come over a little bit here. And so we're coming on the final approach now. Oh, I've got an itchy nose. Oh, what does that mean? Itchy nose. Does that mean I've got a surprise? Okay, so now we're going to go. Where are we going? Come on, Paul. How long have you been doing this? Oh, dear. Okay, so we're on the last one now of this row. And then all of a sudden you'll start to see, because I'm moving parchment, I need to get rid of these bits. Now, if you're a real crafter, you may want to keep these little bits for confetti. Not. I know some people do, especially if you're using the coloured parchment. I suppose it can give the effect of confetti in a shaker card or something, but why? Okay, so I'm going to bring that out now. I'm going to get rid of my confetti onto the floor. And then we're going to go for the last row on this one here. So down a bit. It is very satisfying, Nahid, when the little bits fall away. It really is. So now we're on the final section of these little bits here. So it's easy now because I'm not on the parchment, so it's easier for me to just pull the parchment away from me. Just keep checking I'm in there. Right, oops. Random bit of confetti there. Okay, so now I'm going to turn. I'm just going to shake off these little bits up. Go away. There we go. So now we're going to bring that in. I've kept my hand. That bit didn't want to play, isn't it? Okay, so now we're going to go here. Like so. As I say, the way in which Josie's designed all of her Duet plates is that you don't have to picot cut if you don't want to. If you think that your picot cutting isn't ready for this yet, then that's fine. It doesn't have to be, does it? Because as we can see here, it looks beautiful without any picot cutting. Oh, down a bit. There we go. So having the choices available to you is really good. As Barb says, being on this Groovi bus journey, if you've got the right tools and the right equipment and the right tuition, which I hope you have, then you can achieve it. And as I say, picot cutting is one of those skills some people will get straight away. Some people won't. And a couple of sort of top tips for you is the very obvious one is make sure you can see the holes. I know it sounds a bit patronizing, but if you're struggling to pop the tips of the scissors into the perforations, maybe a magnifying glass would help. Or maybe better lighting. I know Linda uses one of those magnifying glasses that's got a built-in light to them. And I'm sure some of the ladies on the design team do as well. The other thing that if I was doing this at home would be that I'd be using the white super foam with the light panel underneath, because my living room at home isn't that well lit as the studio is here. So to have the illumination from underneath definitely makes a difference. Okay, so now come around to our final section on this one. Where are we? Hang on. Yep, that one there. Let's get it in the right position. Like so. And I can't believe we've nearly finished this one side. And I've gone extra slow today because I've noticed that we had lots of questions, and I thought it's definitely important to answer questions. I mean, that's the whole purpose of being here, really. And don't forget, if you're a member of Groovi or Clarity Worldwide, always post a question on there. Someone will always, no question is ever silly. If you don't know the answer, then ask. That's the whole point of it. That's one of the whole core things of Clarity is being able to provide knowledge and answer questions and help. We don't just sell you the product and say, right, off you go. You've seen this for 10 minutes on the TV. This is what you do, blah, blah, blah. No, far from that. Barb's always had education at heart. She was a linguistics teacher, a translator back in the day. So she's got that education side built into her. And for those of you that have been on any of our retreats will know exactly that's what's the heart of Clarity. And we now have the opportunity with technology to share it even more. And these are all free tutorials that you can just go back and watch it again and again and again. I know when we do it on TV, especially when it comes to Groovi, I mean, the time really does fly on TV when you're demonstrating Groovi. And as I said, without the ladies from the design team doing those stages, I'd still be tracing out in the first hour. And you don't really want to, you want to see more. You want to learn the different things. So when you've got the likes of Tina, who's on Thursday, she's gone through and she's prepped it bit by bit so that she can get as much info in during that hour as she can. And then she always does a step-by-step blog as well afterwards, a week or so later. So you can always go back and look at the pictures. And for me, that makes a big difference if you're investing your money into a craft product. And yeah, it really makes a difference, I think, anyway. And to have the technology like this, it doesn't matter where in the world you are, what time of the day or night, you can tune in live or you can go back and watch again and again and again. You can stop it, you can mute it, you can just watch the pictures. I'm coming really close today, and I hope that helped anybody that's maybe been struggling with their picot cutting. But if you're going to join me next week, then maybe have a list of questions ready. If you excuse me, if you're too shy to ask on social media, but don't be shy, because I guarantee there'll be somebody else out there wanting to know the answer to that same question. So what else have I got on my list? I think I've covered everything on my list. I'm going to go over lay down in a dark room, I think, or just switch the lights off. Nobody will miss me for an hour. Have a little snooze. I'm sure they will. So thank you once again for joining me. Thank you, Stuart, for helping and popping the links up. Thank you, as always, to the fantastic design team in the room helping as well, and for everything they do behind the scenes, because these ladies really do a lot behind the scenes that you don't see, from designing to creating beautiful pieces of artwork and to helping. It really does make a big difference. So Jilly said she'll find me. I'm going to lock the door, Jilly. This room's out of bounds. So thank you once again. I hope you can join Tina on Thursday, Create and Craft at 11 o'clock and 3 p.m. Then I'll be back. Obviously, you've got Barbara's blog on a daily basis, Clarity Matters blog on Saturday and Sunday. I will then be back in the room with you on Tuesday, ahead of a brand new one-day special launching at 6 o'clock on the Wednesday evening. So as always, thank you so much for your company. It really is appreciated. Even though I don't get to answer all the questions, I know the ladies have been answering and everything else. And take it easy, stay warm. I'm going to go and see whether it's defrosted out there or not. And I will see you all next week. Take care now. Bye-bye.